Happy Tuesday, Wednesday. Is today Tuesday? Is today Wednesday? It might be Wednesday. I don't know. But happy day of the week to you, whichever day it is. I'm Adina. You guys are beyond the veil. We are live from one of my boudoirs. I call this the Red Room. It's cold outside. I didn't feel like being outside doing this reading, although I will. Let's fresh air in. All right. So I know that you guys are blessed, amazing, and well. I want to remind you all that the Crown of Success ceremony is in 9 days, March the 20th, on the first day of spring, the spring solstice, and the natural new year. We will be doing a Crown of Success. I have learned a new technique spiritually, a new form of alchemy from my spirits, and I will be applying what I have learned in this Crown of Success, for which I am excited for what the rest of my year is going to look like after this. I almost did a reading on myself to see exactly what the Crown of Success was going to, or if it was going to propel me into what I've been working towards. And I don't even want to look. I don't even want to do the reading because I just want to experience it when it comes, because I know it will. I'm excited about that. If any of you guys want to participate, this isn't something that I'm doing for subscribers or clients. Group ceremonies start with me. There's something that I'm doing. Sometimes I'll think to include or invite others, and when I do that, they are discounted. The Crown of Success is 130 something or 150 something usually. To participate in the group ceremony, it is $50 per person. Moving forward, all of my group ceremonies will be $50 because I don't have time to figure out pricing and all of that stuff. I can typically do ceremonies with participation at $50, and it doesn't require me to cut into a lot of my own personal reserves to do so. Anyways, that's that with that. I'm really looking forward to this Crown of Success on the spring solstice. The fact that it falls on, or it's a Thursday, I believe, and that's the day that I do Crown of Success, is Thursdays and Sundays, so that it falls on the new year is perfect. I'm excited. Okay, so this reading is going to be on, what's his name? Because I am going to do a reading on Marcus Houston as well. And I was going to do it first, but I had also planned on doing a reading on, I believe his name is Caleb something, the young man that passed away as a result of being hazed by the Omegas. I was going to do this with my members on live the other night, because after I did a live on this main platform, I went live again with my members, and we rode out for like 3 hours. Moving forward, I might not ever. No, I might. If I go live on my main platform again, the comments will be relegated to subscribers only, but I'm not sure if I ever will. That may just be something that I do with my members, because there aren't any trolls there. It's a different kind of energy, and I can really get to what I'm trying to do, the things that I'm trying to accomplish on live with my members, because we're all on one accord. I'm sorry, I'm looking for the young man's name who passed away from being hazed. right, his name is Caleb Wilson. He was a Louisiana college student who passed away after an alleged fraternity hazing. I believe there's been a man that's been charged with manslaughter for his passing, and I believe today a second suspect was picked up. Caleb Wilson was allegedly punched multiple times in the chest during a hazing ritual at Louisiana Southern University, police say. Very, very sad indeed. I want to look into this situation. I want to look into the Divine Nine and how they are feeling and handling these situations. I don't really have a specific stance on fraternities and sororities and things like that. Me being a leader, I can't do it. I did attempt to pledge at Florida Memorial. There was 2 organizations that I was planning to pledge for. I think one of them was called ATP, and I don't even know if that's a real fraternity, but I was going to pledge to that because that just seemed like a group of cool kids who wanted to make their own little thing. A lot of my friends were doing it, and then I was being courted by the Zetas, and some of the AKAs courted me as well. My grandmother was a Delta, but I didn't want to do the AKAs because I didn't want that stuck-up reputation that a lot of them had at Florida Memorial. A lot of the AKAs were island Caribbean women, and they tended to present themselves, in my experience, as a little bit more stuck up anyways, especially towards Americans and American women. I wanted no parts of the AKAs because of their behavior. And the Zetas, they all smoked and stuff, and I did too. Everybody else at Florida Memorial looked down on people who smoke marijuana and stuff like that, or maybe they just were pretending to. In any case, the Zetas seemed like they fronted the less. They seemed more down to earth and welcoming, which is why I considered them. My first week of pledging with ATP was my last week. They didn't even get the chance to do anything physical because I just don't like taking orders from people that I don't respect as authorities over me. What have you done to be able to initiate me? I'm sorry. I just don't see myself allowing someone else to determine my worth, or whether I am worthy enough to join an organization, specifically because even in spirituality, spirits initiated me at birth. I've been operating like this before I knew what the spiritual community was. And so I don't see anyone as sovereign over me. I am not a good candidate for anything that causes people to have to be subordinate. Not a good employee for that matter. I make a great employee, but I also make a great manager, supervisor, director, and leader. And because I don't want to bow down to anyone for any other reason other than the fact that I respect them. Not because they demand respect from me. That's why I couldn't do it. It lasted a week. And I said, no, sir. No, sir. Who are you to tell me that I need to prove to you that I am good enough to be a part of an organization that I'll probably make better? Since this is about hazing, this is a Black college student in a Greek organization, and I know a lot of the Greeks say the only thing Greek about our organization is the letter. You guys say that you're a Christian organization, which is a Greek or Roman, because the Bibles and the scriptures that you believe in are written in Greek and Roman and Hebrew. But you're all African Americans, mostly representing a Greek or a Roman Christian organization. Interesting. Interesting that we use the Greek letters and Christian beliefs, which are inherently Aryan, to give back to Black communities. Just my thought. And another observation that I've always had of my own, and this is no shade to the Divine Nine, but someone who did not make the cut because I could not submit, if that's how you like to say. My question is, of all the power collectively that you have, because you have powerful people in powerful places, you operate like the boule. Why are so many of you sitting in political groups, Democrats, Republicans? Why do you raise money to give back to the community rather than building up the communities yourself instead of giving back? I always hear about all the charities and the money and funds that sororities and fraternities raise in order to give back to the Black community. But in order to give back to someone, you will have to have taken something from them or received something from them. In this case, the cream of their crops, because you believe that you are initiating the cream of the African American and Black crops into your organization. So if you take the cream from the crop, then you use the cream to give back to the crop. But instead of taking the cream out of the crop in order to prop up the cream and only give back to the crop, why not just build up the whole field so that all of the crop is cream? You get what I'm saying? If you have that power to do so. Where is the bank of Alpha Kappa Alpha? Where is the bank of Omega, whatever sci-fi, Q, U, E, S, V, W, X, Y? Where are those organizations? And that is my question to the Divine Nine. Have there ever been conversations about building our own establishments with the capital, the equity that you guys have amongst your ranks all throughout the Divine Nine? Has that even been a thought, or has it always just been, we are just going to be here to support the people within the systems that were set up against us? We'll infiltrate the systems so that we can look out for each other. Instead of saying, let's not infiltrate the systems, let's build our own. And let's empower our community to start thinking like that. Most High, Mother and Father God, thank you for this beautiful day. If it's a Wednesday or if it's a Tuesday, thank you for it either way. Thank you for my gift, and thank you for YouTube, who also reported that after my last live, I lost 100 subscribers. I just don't see how I can lose 100 subscribers within an hour. But thank you anyway for YouTube for still being the platform that I can still use to spread my gift. Because render to Caesar what is Caesar's, even me. They snatched 100 subscribers away because I clocked their paid bots that they want us to think are real human trolls, but are not, according to what I saw in my reading. And I got 100 subscribers snatched away from me, and that's okay, because this is their platform. But it's my gift, and thank you for being great collaborators with my gift. Spirit, please, before I begin this message about Caleb Wilson, the young man who passed away as a result of hazing in Louisiana, I would like to have a message to the Divine Nine Greek organizations from the Divine itself. This wanted to slip out. You are good enough on your own. As a sovereign human being, you are good enough to reach whatever heights that you need to reach without having to create a secret society of initiates to help you. Because that's what it seems like you guys value these organizations for, the connections. Which obviously means that you feel like on your own, you're not good enough to make it where you want to make it within the world systems. If you need to infiltrate the systems of the world in order to get on, that means that you desire to be a part of the world's systems. And so are you inherently pro-Black anyways? Because if your desire is for us to thrive in a system that was created against us, then you're not really as pro-Black or for the Black community as you think. You are for us assimilating. You're for assimilation. I think that's what the whole purpose of giving back to the Black community is to make sure that people say, listen, we are supporting each other. Why do you need to disrupt the system? We're here to help you. Take what we give you and trust us because we're Black. You're good enough. You don't need to pledge to anybody to get ahead. The problem lies in the fact that you believe that power is outside of yourself. And for the past few weeks, I have been speaking on removing ourselves from codependency on power structures that exist outside of you. Because that's the only way somebody can haze you to take your life, is if you're trying to gang an organization where other people in power make the rules in order for you to get in. You are good enough. None of you need to be initiates into an organization to be a sovereign human being and live an abundant life unless you want more than what you feel like you can acquire on your own. And in that case, you're at the mercy of greed. So whatever you get is what you get in your quest for more than what you feel like you can acquire on your own. What you can acquire on your own is your allotment in life. Not saying that partnerships are bad, but those are pluses. What you can acquire off your own sovereignty is what you're allotted in this life. And anything else is a plus, but it's not something that you should sacrifice yourself for, because you're sacrificing yourself to greed. I'm not enough. I need these men to help me be better, to get into better positions, instead of saying, I'm great by myself. Anybody who wants to collaborate with me is welcome to, if it makes sense. But I'm great by myself. Spirit, please give me a message for the Divine Nine entity from top to bottom. All of their organizations, from fraternities to sorority spirits, they have just consumed a life, a soul within their ranks. An energy. Will that energy cause the Divine Nine to combust, or will it just be another energy that the Divine Nine has consumed from consent? If you consent to be punched in the chest, then you consent to a possibility that your life will be taken by this entity, the Divine Nine organization. Message for the Divine Nine Spirit. In wake of the life that was just consumed within its ranks, expect powerful change in reversed. I do know that hazing was supposed to have been outlawed or prohibited from the Divine Nine, but the practices weren't changed. They were just done. They were eclipsed. They were hidden. Instead of doing them openly by the sun, they start doing them secretively under the dark skies of the moon, which is why this is a full moon eclipse. And it's being exposed again because instead of stopping it all around, you guys just allowed it to be enshrouded in darkness. The divine does not want you guys doing this. And so every time you hide it, something happens so that it can be brought to light again, because eclipses don't last. They glide past each other and then they move on. So even if the moon eclipses the sun, it moves out of the sun's way and all is in the light again. Because you guys did not do the powerful change that was expected by your pledge to outlaw hazing. Luck is on your side in reverse because you did not change like you said you would. It's time to take action. This tells me that within the Divine Nine, there is a desire to protect the Divine Nine and isolate this incident from the Divine Nine, when in reality, the Divine Nine might be the problem. Communication is key. Two-faced. There is a system within the Divine Nine. One is what we see outwardly. We are organizations who do this, this, and this. But do you guys really believe that? Or do you all know that there is another face to these organizations that not even you all like to speak about, and not all of you like to even acknowledge? These are two-faced organizations. You guys are not just about charity and all of those things. You guys are brotherhoods, secret societies. That's why there are hazing rituals. And it's time for you all to remove the blinders from your own face, because that is how these things keep happening. The members themselves like to disassociate themselves from things that happen in the Divine Nine, that happen historically. They like to isolate it to chapters. Come on now. Be real with yourselves about why you're in these organizations on an individual level. Because none of you, I actually say 90% of the Divine Nine population today has not gotten into it for the reasons that maybe some of the founders did. You all get into it for the connections so that you can get ahead, and then get ahead and look down on the rest of the community, and then start doing charity for the lesser thans in your community. I don't know a lot of you who do it because you are servants at heart, because then you wouldn't need to join an organization to serve. You would serve first. You guys have to start being honest with yourself about this culture that you're in and what it really is. When you're honest with yourself, only then can things change, because the powerful change comes from within the organization and within the individual. I'm not a good candidate for organizations like that because I know myself. As a sovereign human being, I know the power that I hold to change things once I will myself to be a change agent. And I don't need you to put the battery in my back to do so. That's what a leader does. All right. If this does not happen, if deaths don't continue to happen, and you guys don't continue to expose, you guys will continue to do what you do. And the season of change is upon us, especially for the children of light, the children of melanin. We share the same chemical makeup of light. That's why we're called the children of light. Judgment is going to start from within our house. So we got to get out the agents that keep us down amongst ourselves before we can start regulating other people. Because it's always only been able to exist when we participate in our own demise. Let's start cleaning house and getting people that aren't real kinfolk just because they're skin folk out of the crop. Let's start weeding out the wheat and the tares. Let's do it. It'll be uncomfortable, But if you guys really want the change that you guys are begging the government to give you that they won't give, I'm here to show you that we will have to do it ourselves. And this way, we can't keep pretending like we aren't our own worst enemy first, that we don't have systems within our own culture that that benefit their system and keep us down. This is why I'm doing this reading on my main channel when I wanted to do it for my members, because I knew that if I did this for my main channel, I'll probably lose more subscribers. I'm sure a lot of you all are a part of the Divine Nine. I have plenty of relatives. My grandmother died a proud Delta. So did her nieces, cousins, and I have lots of Deltas in my family. They're a Delta family in my paternal family. My maternal family is Team Jesus, the white one. Okay, the white blue-eyed one. Team Jesus, and then Team Greeks. And then here I am saying, can we be Team us? I don't want to be a part of any of those teams. My mother always said I was rebellious, and I always resented that, but maybe, just maybe, I am a righteous rebellious. The type of rebellious that's needed. Because think about this and then tell me why I need to sign up for it. Let's think about it and then tell me why I need to bow and kiss your ring. Tell me why I should bow when I see myself as a goddess. In every area of my life, I feel like I carry myself that way. I exude regal energy. Who are you to make me bow to you? Who are you? All right, Divine Nine Spirit. The Divine Nine just consumed a life. Caleb Wilson. I know you guys don't want to say that. You guys want to say that's their chapter. The Divine Nine has consumed another Black life. That's probably why Trump and Elon are erasing Black Lives Matters out of DC. And we're looking at them as if they're the devil. But do we value our own Black lives? Because as this is playing out, Black lives took another Black life. And then as soon as that happened, Trump and them wanted to get Black Lives Matters off the streets. Why? Because you guys don't even treat Black lives like they matter. So why should that be a banner that the US of A Corporation Inc. uses, waves proudly when they don't matter? Not to you, so it doesn't matter to them. Why do you want them to care more about us than you care about you? So much so that you beg people outside of yourself. You are begging God. You're actually going to God and asking them to guide you to the right human being to lead you. And God is like, why would I do that? I'm not going to lead you to another human being when I am leading you inside of yourself where I am. Whoever is leading you to another human being is not God. And it's not God-like. Ain't no Christians for no political campaign. There should be no groups rallying around and praying for a leader. God, send us a leader. Then when you get one, you act mad when they wield their power. Then you start saying, we didn't elect you for this. Yes, you did. You gave a human being all of your power. And they consume that power. And sometimes power goes to your head in the wrong hands, which is why it's given to you, for you. You give it to someone else, they start eating all the power that the collective has given them, and they get drunk on it. You've got millions of people voting for the power of a single person, and you expect that person to be able to remain humble? We can barely remain humble when we get a new hairdo. Because I know I act a plum fool when my hair is done, when my nails is done, when I become a new person. Yes. You expect these people who have the least amount of God within them, because they don't even have souls. They sold them out for money. I mean, just think. Think about why you are powerless, that you need to be hazed into a group when someone else, that was somebody's idea to start hazing people into the organization. That was somebody else's power trip. Then they collectively mind controlled you into accepted to be accepted. Accept it to be accepted. That was somebody else's idea. Because leave it to you, you would be able to join the organization and reap the benefits without being beat or demeaned. But somebody else has wielded their power over you that you gave them and told you to submit to me before I help you. Because I know you need help. But first, bow to me. Kiss the ring first and foremost. Pledge your life to this Greek lettered God, and then you will reap the benefits. Only after you pledge can you reap the benefits. Think about that. And what did you do? You bowed and you kissed the ring. I just want you to think. I'm not coming for anyone. I am invoking thought, hoping to evoke your spirit out of slumber and out of indoctrination, out of thinking that it needs anything outside of itself other than itself to be powerful. I don't even want you to think that I am more powerful than you, because I am not. The only difference is that I know who I am, and nobody else can speak into me what I know about my motherfucking self. You have to know the laws of nature, so that you know what you can stand on as a human being. I don't need you to get ahead. And if getting ahead means this is what it takes, then I'm not getting ahead. I am giving my head. Let's start thinking critically, even if it makes you uncomfortable, because you have to realize that you bowed to a God. It's okay to open your eyes and realize that you're looking at the ground because your head is bowed and want to raise your head up. Stare that God eye to eye so that you can see what the differences are. You can see that they were only above you because you were bowed. The moment you rise up, you're leveled. You're not more of a God than me. We see eye to eye. I don't have to do this to see you. Unbow yourselves to those gods that they've convinced you need in order to get ahead out of these systems. They integrate you so deep into society's systems, you find yourself selling your soul just to stay there amongst these people. Because we have yet to build anything for ourselves. So all you're doing is pledging into their systems and using each other to maintain your spots there. Then you get there and become complacent. You start doing charity work for the blacks so that you can control them. Because you don't want us to rebel against the system so that you can't continue to enjoy the place that you've pledged yourself into. That's the bigger picture that we're not looking at here. The bigger picture that we're not looking at here. Spirit, Caleb Wilson, talk to me about his passing. Caleb Wilson, who is pledging. I close my eyes and I see a door. I only see one. And that's a message to me. Thank you. Spirit, when it comes to Caleb Wilson, the young man, I still see the same door. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing for following the narrow path, the one that's not popular, the one that doesn't get me tons of subscribers and monetization. Thank you. Spirit, Caleb Wilson, please allow me to conjure this young man, no matter where he is. I'm not afraid of disturbing his soul. His death will not be in vain. I'll use him to deliver this message. Caleb Wilson, young man who just passed away as a result of hazing by people who look like you and people who were supposed to be becoming your brothers. Caleb Wilson, I call forth your spirit, soul, and collective energy in any way that I can read it. If any moment it becomes uncomfortable to you for me to conjure you, you may be free from not coming. But whatever parts of you are comfortable in coming here to commune with me face to face, I welcome you. He said, ring the bell. Now, if you're my member, you know why I'm ringing this, because I taught you about it. Get them out. My members know. Get them out. They can't take it. All right, Caleb. Thank you, because I wasn't going to do that. All right. He said they'll want to come in your comments, but they will refrain. Okay. Ooh. All who have ears to hear, let them hear. If you do not have ears to hear, you may depart in peace. Before I get started with Caleb's message. In peace. Caleb Wilson, talk to me about your passing. Caleb is not angry. Caleb is not sad. Caleb is resolute. And that's worse. It's worse for the organization because this man, even in his spiritual realm, is not acting out of emotion and anger. This man is acting resolute. He will cause problems for your organization because his soul is not erratic. It is resolute. He seems to speak very clearly and eloquently. He seems to know himself now. Now that he's not here, he knows himself. He knows his worth. He did before, but not on a soul level. Now he knows. Now he knows. Thank God, actually, that you freed him from his body before he went through with pledging his soul. That's what he says. I don't sense anger here. I don't sense anger here. And that's why I saw one door. Because if Caleb does reincarnate back here, he will be great. He will be great. He may not come back here, though. I usually see multiple doors when there are choices. One door, there's one path. And that's a good thing. Because that means we've made all the choices that we need to make for our soul. Our soul is on one trajectory. So there would only be one door because we desire nothing else. I don't know if Caleb will come back through that one door for a specific reason or if he won't come back. I'm thinking it's the former and not the latter. If he comes back, he will come back with a man on a totally different mission. Something has happened to me doing readings now where I am now doing these readings, it seems, from the crossroads. it seems as though I can see just as equally in the above and below as I can. It's like I'm just watching the passage of souls in between life and the other realm. Even while we're alive, we go back and forth. And so now when I'm reading, it's hard to just see the physical aspects of things, because what I see first is the spiritual aspects of things, and I see it so much more clearly. It feels like lately I'm doing readings from a different vantage point than I was before. Caleb Wilson, speak. Now, my niece told me last weekend, she's 2, 3. She said, TT, you're dying. Everybody in the house was like, I was like, girl, well, how much longer I got left? You know, so I can set some things to address you guys, tell you don't weep, don't mourn. I'm finna go. She started laughing, and she was like, with the pew pew. And we were watching something on TV where they were shooting. Now, I ain't take it too seriously after that, because I know how I'm going to pass. It's not going to be with a gun. So I was like, okay, but she was like, TT, you're dying. Since then, I've had a few spiritual experiences, but I don't believe that death is upon me. I do believe, though, that I either just went through a symbolic death or am going through one. Leveling up, so to speak. In a way, though, I am. I'm getting older. Caleb Wilson, talk to me about your passing. It's been 42 minutes. I don't even remember being here this long. Knight of Swords. This man was very resolute. Like I mentioned, a man on a mission. He'll come back with a warrior spirit, a man on a mission. Seems he was that way even in life, determined to get ahead. That's why he was joining, to get ahead in life. Challenge, 2 of Cups. This probably would be the act of him being punched in the chest. He would be the more feminine one because he was the pledge, or the person pledging. There on the person, the big brother's parts, is ego. To those who uphold hazing, there is nothing but ego. Nothing but ego. The idea of pledging is founded on ego. Not only that, elitism. In order to be inducted into the higher echelons, it should not be easy for you, because it wasn't easy for me. Since I had to fight to get in, so will you. Pledging represents the struggle of the Negro breaking the upper class. And they want to make sure that that never dies, so that you never forget what the founding fathers of the Divine Nine had to go through to break into elite circles. They had to be beaten, hazed in a way to prove their worthiness of assimilating and integrating with the white elite. And so therein lies the tradition of pledging. Because if it was really about uplifting your community, there would be no need to pledge. Whatever is taught to sorors and frat brothers would be taught in public education or by mentoring programs. This is how we got on. And once we got on, this is what we learned about the system. You would give it to your people willingly, or at least the people who show a capacity to do something with it. But what you want to do is continue to remind people that in order to rub shoulders with people in power and to acquire power for yourself, you have to be initiated into it like we did. Makes me wonder about all the brightness of the founding fathers. They still felt like they had to endure a lot of torture from whites in order to make their place, instead of making a place for themselves. They wanted a place next to the whites. And then they wanted to show you what it took to become elite like them, and remind you that not everybody is good enough to get in, which is why they want you to pledge. And then they have to accept you too. I believe that they have to approve your application into these organizations. This is an organization that is meant to benefit the ones who are in it. Queen of Wands in the past position. Who is that? Who is this? Is this a big sister of the sorority half of the fraternity? Who is this woman in his past? I don't know. I'm asking. It's a real question. Who is that woman in his past? I wonder if a woman introduced him or helped him get into pledging. I don't know if that's a big sister from the sister organization. Maybe. She's crafty though. Well, the world. This blew up publicly because of his spirit. This is a story now because of his spirit. Period. If it wasn't for his spirit blowing this up as it was leaving the world, then it might have been minimized, covered up. Because we have members of the Divine Nine in the media who don't want the Divine Nine to look bad. This young man made sure, as his soul was leaving his body, that it stayed in the earth realm long enough to make sure that it fulfilled its mission. This man is on a mission now, in his life and in his passing. He may have always wanted to pledge because he knows that that will help his career trajectory. Now, he wants nothing more than to see the Divine Nine come to justice. Strength. This is the organization, I believe, now. Who is this woman? Who is this woman? She ain't no little dog. She has influence and impact over him, or at least had in the past, and I'm not too well versed with the stories and the details of his case. There's a woman here, even in his crowning position, who seemed to influence him or impact him in a major way. I wonder if even a woman had a hand in trying to minimize this. A woman in power. She's probably a part of one of the Divine Nine organizations, and she is probably someone in power now. There seems to be a blanket of silence amongst the Divine Nine now. Nobody wants anything to do with this. because it's showing secret rituals that they do that they shouldn't be doing. Ancient rituals that mimic other types of brotherhood activities. And y'all know this. Y'all know this. You know it. You know it. Please stop acting like you aren't aware. The only ones who weren't aware are our grandmas and stuff like that, who really got in it because they wanted to be Black excellence. The Eastern Stars and stuff like that. This woman might be an Eastern Star or connected to another type of secret order, as many of them do. After sororities and fraternities, once they start climbing the elite and class ladder, they actually, absolutely, I believe, become introduced to the other orders. That the frats and sororities were just a precursor to. And that's why I believe a lot of the people in today's frats and sororities are getting into it. They know these things. They know. You know why you're getting into these sororities. These seem to be ancient rituals and practices that you guys hazing, that you guys aren't supposed to be doing anymore, but you do it anyways. Because this is what you have to do to get hazed into the elites. It might start off as the elite ranks in Black, but your Blacks even have elite ranks above them that are Aryan and that aren't Blacks. And they tap dance for them just so that you can get, listen. Oh, and here's a King of Wands. Frat brother, frat sister. This is the one who did it, or maybe one of the leaders of the fraternity. I think this might be a leader of the sorority here. The sister sorority. Hopes and fears. Three of Swords. This young man was hoping to pledge. He was hoping to pledge and keep the secrets of the organization, but his heart couldn't take it. His heart couldn't take the hazing. And the outcome is obviously charges and legal battle. The front guy is a front guy for a reason. There are other people involved. But I don't know if either of the men that they have locked up today are this man. I believe that those two are the men back here. There's another man ahead of them all. These are chapter heads. Chapter heads. This chapter head is not a good guy because he knew he shouldn't have been hazing. But he wanted the hazing to continue. Ego, power, control. King of Wands reversed. Magician in reverse. First of all, he's the magician in reverse because he is the grand wizard of that chapter of their organization. Has lots of power in his hands, but not using it for the good reasons. This is dark magic, but in this case, hazing, because they're not supposed to be doing it. This is someone very high up in their organization. Not a big brother, someone that's not even in college anymore. And it was his decision to abandon this young man. And these two young men are the ones going down for it. Let me look into this magician in reverse, because who are you? Somebody that they definitely believe could help them in their jobs. I don't know if these boys that were crossing over already had jobs lined up or jobs in line or connections to jobs lined up for almost everyone in the line, it seemed. And this man was in a powerful position, I believe, to create opportunities for his little brothers after they pledged. Magician in reverse. I don't think this has anything to do with the community. It's why everybody isn't welcome. He's definitely nervous about them coming for him. But it seems like, why is this 10 of Cups here in reverse? Ooh, you sorority sisters are getting called out too. We ain't just talking about frats, because I've seen the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups in reverse. Look, the Empress. The sisters to this fraternity, your ass is grass too, because y'all be pledging together. Everybody of color is not going to be worthy. That's why you have to pledge and haze. And they say they don't do it anymore, but it seems to still be a thing amongst organizations, the majority of them, because this is the Queen of Cups in reverse. And remember, in the Two of Cups situation, I mentioned the pledges are the woman in the card because they have to receive. Hazing is still very much widespread. It just went underground because they understand the reason for this is to show that not everybody, especially of color, should be worthy to get in. This is classes, this is elitist, and this is what the sororities are founded on and practicing on at its energetic root right now. And it seems to be you guys let hazing go underground, because it seems like if you get hazed, then you get the successful jobs and stuff once you're crossed over. Why? Because you belong to the organization. You are ownership of the organization. It is your identity. There's still someone that owns you though. That's what happens when you get hazed. You get on. That is the culture there. It seems like when you guys are paper, is that what you call it? You don't get the same opportunities. Outcome, 5 of Swords, the legal aspects of it. Devil in reverse. King of Swords. Judgment in reverse. I imagine that definitely 2 guys are arrested. They might be the only ones that go down for this. But I don't know if they will have gotten the shot caller because it's up in the higher ranks of the organizations itself. The whole D9, Divine 9, needs to go away. It needs to. Maybe some sort of apology to the family might be given at some point. I do see some sororities involved. I see that they continue to do hazing too, but nobody seems to have passed away from it. You guys still do it too. Sororities. You guys still do it. Some of you guys are involved in this Caleb situation, pledging that night. I know the sister chapters to the fraternities, they'll be pledging their sorors the same time as the brothers are pledging their frat brothers. Sometimes they do some cross pledging. Why you girls so tight-lipped? I always hear the AKAs and deltas. You guys are the most vocal because you guys are the most self-righteous. Where y'all at? And please, not the ones that say we don't haze. I don't want to hear that. Some sorority sisters were complicit that night as well. Don't let them off. There's specifically a woman in power and a man of power. These are colored people who really, really, really uphold the culture of frats and sororities. And because they're in power, They're the gatekeepers, so they will continue to, or they have continued to uphold hazing. The gatekeepers standing in the middle of fraternities, sororities, and the elite, they're the ones who uphold hazing. At the direction of the world elites that are not Black. They prop them up and then place them as gatekeepers in the Black community because they know they need us up there in the elite, but they don't want all of us. They want the ones that are complacent, easily controlled. That's who you sorority and fraternity people are, and that's why you get the positions, because you need to be controlled when you get in there and do like Master says, and you will, because you've pledged already, you've been hazed. It's a precursor to what you experience, the buck breaking you experience once you get the powerful positions, the jobs and things like that, the connections. But you still got to stay in your place. Justice for Caleb Wilson. If the Divine Nine does not decide to change its culture from Greek to something that is native to themselves and do a complete overhaul, no more pledging, period. There can be a system of how you get in, but not pledging. We want to see schools built, homes built, shelters built, food banks built, businesses built. That's what we want to see. And then we'll start thinking that y'all aren't gatekeepers and tap dancers. Justice for Caleb. Love you guys. Bye.